Okay. Everyone's phones on vibrate? Okay. Good evening, everyone. We're ready to begin tonight's City of Gardena regular City Council meeting for July 10th, 2018. Madam City Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Madam Mayor, all members of the council are present.
Okay, thank you. Ms. City Attorney, do we have anything to report from closed session tonight?
There's nothing to report out tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to begin with our Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight our Pledge of Allegiance is being led by Jordan and Cameron Ajimin, and immediately following that, we're going to have our invocation led by Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka. So if everyone can please stand and our pledges, please come to the front.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Good job, you guys. Good job. Let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for the opportunity to come to our city council meeting so that we can make sure that our citizens and our city are well taken care of. We thank you for all our departments within our city that do such a wonderful job making us stand out amongst all the rest of the cities in the South Bay. Father, keep them safe, help them and their families to be well. Father, we just thank you for all the relationships that we have within our city as we move forward, and the things that we as a city council do make sure that our citizens are well taken care of. So, Father, thank you for this meeting tonight. Thank you for all that you bless us with. Give us strength, give us love, and give us the continued strength to go on forward. So for your Son and his sake we pray. Amen.
You may be seated. Okay, if I can have our two pledgers come back to the front. So tonight's Pledge of Allegiance was led by Jordan and Cameron Algerman. Both of them are participants in the Summer Day Camp at Arthur Johnson Park, which is sponsored by the City of Gardena Recreation Division. Jordan is 8 years old and Cameron is 7. Both, of course, are brothers, and they will be attending Dinker Elementary School in the coming year. Jordan will be in the 3rd grade and Cameron will be in the 2nd grade. Can you tell us who brought you to the meeting tonight? Hit that little button for us. Thank you.
Miss Susie.
Miss Susie. Where's Miss Susie? Did your mom or dad bring you as well, too? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Miss Susie, for bringing them out. Give her a round of applause. She's one of our staff members here. And Jordan, would you like to say anything else?
No.
Okay. That's okay. Cameron, would you like to say anything? Go ahead.
We're in the best summer days camp with Miss Susie.
Oh, very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Great testimony there. Well, thank you guys for both leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and we look forward to you guys coming back in the future to do it again. So everyone, thank you again for, please give them a round of applause. Okay, you guys can take your seat now. We'd like to thank Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka for leading us in the invocation tonight. It's always great to have a pastor on the city council just as a backup, just in case. So thank you for leading us tonight.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay, so tonight we have a couple of presentations. As our new custom now, we recognize Gardena military veterans. We honor them. And tonight we have two that are coming before us here. And where'd my little notes go? So originally there were four veterans that we were going to be honoring tonight who were members of the Gardena Nisei VFW Post 1961. They each volunteered for more than 100 hours at the Wall That Heals, serving as the members of the committee and provided overnight support from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. every night that the Wall was in Gardena. They also helped with the setup and breakdown, all worked the welcome ceremony, and they donated $1,000 to the effort. Arthur Tanaka, he served in the military from May 1967 to April 1969 in the U.S. Army in Vietnam. Stan couldn't be with us tonight. He's at home sick with pneumonia. Steve Moriyama is here tonight with us. He served in the military from June 1966 to April 1970 in the U.S. Air Force in Vietnam. And Mike Miyamoto is not here tonight. He served in the Army, and he is currently in Hawaii, so he's not here tonight. So tonight, they were nominated by Councilmember Cascanian. Would you like to say anything before we bring our veterans up?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I would like, first of all, to say thank you for your service. I do really appreciate it. And I would like to add a couple other topics on this, Madam Mayor, that Gardena Nisei Memorial Veterans Post 1961 is very active in the city of Gardena and in the veterans activity throughout the region. Recently, Post 1961 assisted the city of Gardena hosting the Wall That Heals here at Masvokai Park. The veterans volunteered to staff the wall and be present to assist visitors nearly 24 hours a day for the duration of the visit, volunteering hundreds of hours of their own time to make the visit successful. We thank you very much for that. In addition, the veterans that we honor here tonight served on the host committee, helped at the escort of the wall, assisted in the setup and breakdown of the wall, presence at the welcome events and coordination, the junior ROTC volunteers. They each volunteered nearly every night from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. and they stayed awake. So imagine from 10, that's a lot of hours. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you very much for your service, and we do really appreciate it. Thank you. So, Madam Mayor.
So at this time, we'd like to invite Arthur Tanaka and Steve Moriyama to the front if you'd like to say anything. Go ahead.
The members of the VFW Post 1961 would really like to thank the City of Gardena for allowing us to operate here in the city and allowing us to serve the city, because that's the biggest part of what we do, is to serve the veterans of the city and to help in the city as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Please give them a round of applause, everyone. Don't go far. Don't go far.
Don't go anywhere.
Okay, we'll let you, would you like to say anything as well? You're okay? Okay, we also have another certificate from Assemblymember Al Marisucci and Mayor Pro Tem. If you'll read that for me, please.
They both read the same, but congratulations to both of you from Assemblymember Marisucci's office. And I'm proud that I get to read this because my dad was a member of the 1961 Post, so thank you very much. And the Assemblyperson's certificate of recognition states to Arthur Tanaka, to Steve Moriyama, in recognition and celebration of your dedication and service to the United States of America, and with the sincere appreciation for your selflessness acts of courage. And we congratulate you and thank you very much. Al Marisucci, Assembly Member, 66th District. Congratulations.
Thank you. You can have it to him. Now, while Councilmember Cascanian is presenting the medals, Councilmember Medina, can you let the audience know what the medals, how they came into being?
Yes, we have a customized commemorative coin that was made especially for our recipients of our veteran recognition. And each individual veteran will receive the coin, It was especially produced by the City of Gardena for the veterans. And at the same time, they will also receive a video of today's presentation. So we'll have a record of them being thanked not only by the City Council, but also by Assemblymember Murasuchi. And I'm very proud, as a veteran myself of Vietnam, to say that we can thank every veteran we can, as often as we can. So let's give them a big round of applause, please. Oh, for those of you who don't know this, we have a sign at Gardena Honda, and their name will be up there for 2 weeks. Their picture will be there showing that we're honoring them on behalf of the City of Gardena and thanking them for their service to the United States of America. So it's on the corner of Western and Redondo Beach Boulevard. You'll see it if you're at a stoplight and it turns green. Please go.
Okay, thank you. So next we have a resolution celebrating the 45th anniversary of Gardena and Watabampo, our sister city relationship. And there's going to be a signing that's going to take place between myself and the delegation, Mr. Francisco Diaz-Nebles. But before we do that, I have a resolution I'm going to read, and then I'm going to call up one of the representatives from Sister City to introduce the members here. So this resolution reads here, the 45th anniversary of Gardena and Watabampo Sister City affiliation. Whereas the cities of Watabampo, Sonora, Mexico, and Gardena, California, USA, joins hands as sister cities through the People-to-People Sister City International Program on the 9th day of October, 1973, and whereas the goal of the affiliation was to encourage the people of both cities to learn about each other's communities, to enjoy one another's hospitality, and to build personal relationships through contact with other cultures. Whereas since their affiliation, the people from both cities have experienced a growing bond of friendship and mutual understanding and have expanded ideals of the People-to-People program through continuous home hospitality and student and adult cultural exchange. And whereas both cities not only seek to maintain their strong relationship, but wish to increase the exchange of knowledge, broaden their mutual understanding, and continue to build lasting friendships. So, let's see. Watabampo, Sonora, Mexico, and Gardena, California will be taking great pride in celebrating our 45 years of our sister city affiliation and reaffirming that our pledge to each other's continued bonding relationship of peace, harmony, friendship, and understanding and mutual respect. And that will be what we'll be signing here. And you know what? I apologize. I think I read the wrong thing here. Is that the resolution? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, the proclamation. Never mind. Anyway, we're going to have a representative from Sister City Association, Maria O'Hara, come forward to introduce the Watabampo delegates.
Hello, my name is Maria O'Hara. I have a representative from Watabampo. He is representing the mayor, which is Ramon Reyes, and his name is Francisco Diaz, and he is the representative from Watabampo from the council. And then for the Watabampo Sister City president is Mirna Corral, and she's our the president for their sister city. And then the rest is the delegations.
Delegation, please stand. Please, a round of applause. And if we could, I believe Councilmember Medina is going to translate right now if there was something he wanted to say.
El presidente, señor Francisco Díaz, va a hablar en español y yo voy a interpretar en inglés. For those of you who don't understand me, Mr. Diaz-Niebles is going to speak in Spanish from representing Watabampo, Mexico, and I will translate it in English. Y vamos a ir paso a paso.
Buenas noches.
Good night. Good evening.
Mayor Tacha Cerda y todo su equipo de colaboradores, buenas noches. También quiero darle un saludo aquí a todos mis compañeros, amigos del comité
He wants to shout out to all the committee members from Guatabampo,
ciudades hermanas, Gardina, Guatabampo, y también a mis compañeros que me acompañan de Guatabampo, el comité de Gardina representado por mi esposa Mirna Corral.
and also the sister city
Presidenta del
from
comité.
Gardena and the sister city from Guatabampo, and my lovely wife.
Es un honor para mí representar a mi municipio y a mi presidente municipal.
It's an honor for me to represent my municipality as well as my municipal president, otherwise known as a mayor,
El profesor Ramón Reyes Barreras Valdés.
Professor Ramon Barreras Valdez.
Sí. Con su permiso, le voy a dar lectura a mi nombramiento.
With your permission, I'm going to read something that he wrote for us, for the city of Gardena.
Mayor Tacha Cerda, ciudad hermana de Gardina, California, presente.
Mayor Tasha Cerda, president of the sister city here, or the city of Gardena.
Por medio del presente, permito enviarle un cordial saludo y a su vez presentar ante usted quien honrosamente asiste en mi representación.
I want to congratulate you and on your job of assisting to get this coordinated together with Guatabampo.
Sí, al señor Francisco Díaz, regidor Francisco Díaz Nieblas.
And this is through Mr. Francisco Diaz Niebles.
Deseando que este encuentro de ciudades hermanas sea de gran satisfacción.
Wishing that this encounter that we have will be very, very satisfactory
Para ambas ciudades y seguir construyendo los lazos de amistad durante los 45 años que se tienen como ciudades hermanas.
and to keep the growth going of love and friendship for the past 45 years as a sister city.
Sin otro particular, quedo a sus preciables órdenes atentamente el profesor Ramón Reyes Barreras Valdés, presidente municipal de Guatabampo, Sonora.
On behalf of the city of Guatabampo, sister city, Professor Presidente Municipal Ramón Reyes Barreras Valdez has signed the proclamation.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for translating that for us, Council Member, and thank you to all of the delegates here from Guatabampo. Will you translate that, please?
Muchísimas gracias, primeramente, para yo traducirlo en inglés. Y ahora quiero dar muchísimas gracias al Comité de Guatabampo por venir y compartir con la ciudad de Gardena. Gracias.
And we hope that while you're here that you have a great time learning more of our culture here, and we look forward to going to Guatabampo to learn more about yours, and hope that we have even many more years of our sister city affiliation.
Estamos diciendo que mientras el tiempo que estén aquí, que disfruten todo lo que sea de la cultura de Gardena, y estamos esperando para que cuando vayamos a la ciudad de Guatabampo vamos a compartir más. Gracias. Ahora vamos a firmar la proclamación de Gardena y Guatabampo, and we are now going to sign the proclamation that will bind not only the sister city of Guatabampo, but also the sister city of Gardena. Mr. Francisco Diaz Niebles will be representing the President Municipal, which is Ramon Reyes Barreras Valdez. And Tasha will be representing Tasha. And this will be posted in our local Gardena Valley news. Esto va a estar en la prensa de Gardena Valley News, y así podemos hacer el esfuerzo de mandarles una copia. Ahora, damas y caballeros, por favor, un gran aplauso para los dos representantes de la ciudad. That was a round of applause on behalf of the both representatives from each sister city.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have a proclamation for our Parks and Recreation Month. I'm going to read that real quickly, and then I believe we have a representative from the Parks and Rec Commission, Mr. Stephen Dyson, will be here to accept it with his grandson. So the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the month of July has been designated as Parks and Recreation Month in California and throughout the United States, this special month has been celebrated for the past 33 years. Whereas our nation is fortunate to have a wonderful variety of parks that provide countless recreational opportunities for our citizens and for visitors from around the world. Whereas parks have open space, playground, community, and cultural centers, they make communities attractive and desirable places to live, work, and play, and visit, and contribute to their economic vitality. Whereas the parks and recreation activities and leisure experiences provide opportunity for young people to live, grow, and develop into contributing members of society, and further create lifelessness of opportunities for continuous life experiences for older members of communities. Whereas it is fitting that the dedicated work of the Parks and Recreation professionals and volunteers of all 6 of Gardena's beautiful parks, as well as the Nakoka Community Center, Rush Gym, Brim Pool, be recognized for their positive contributions to individuals, families, groups, and the entire community, bringing good health and an enhanced quality of life. So I proclaim that July 2018 to be Parks and Recreation Month in the city of Gardena with the 2018 theme, which is Parks and Recreation, A Lifetime of Discovery, and urge all of our citizens to participate and support the many recreational and leisure activities that are offered and enjoyed throughout all of our parks and recreational facilities throughout our community. So, Mr. Dyson, would you like to come forward, please?
Good evening. My name is Stephen Dyson. This is my grandson, Jerome Dyson Jr., who is visiting me from Peachtree City, Georgia. His dad grew up in the city and played ball at Raleigh Park and throughout the whole system. So he's here with me, and he's having an awesome time. This is his first city council meeting. Thank you for proclaiming July as Parks and Recreation Month in the city of Gardena. And on behalf of Gardena Recreation and Park Commission, we'd like to thank you, Gardena City Council, for your support. We know that many of you have often stated that the city of Gardena's Parks and Recreation Department is the best around, and we truly appreciate the acknowledgement. As you know, parks provide not only a fun place for kids to play, but they provide intrinsic environmental, aesthetic, and recreation benefits to our city. They are a source of positive economic benefit, enhancing property values, increasing municipal revenue, and bringing home buyers and workers to Gardena. In addition to the many activities on our parks and pool at this time, we hope you know that the infrastructure improvements have begun. The new outdoor exercise equipment at Raleigh Park and upgraded baseball diamonds at each of our parks is just the beginning. We will soon be working on our tennis courts, park picnic shelters, and much more. As for events, our Gardena Dodger Day is set for Sunday, August 5th, and it's a rematch of the World Series with the Houston Astros, and our 16th annual Gardena Jazz Festival is shaping up for Sunday, August 26th at Raleigh Park. We hope to see you all there. We take our responsibility serious in the Parks and Recreation departments, and as you know, our motto is, we work so you can play. So come and visit in one of our beautiful green parks anytime soon. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dyson, for presenting or receiving that, and hope your grandson has a great time here in California, enjoying our council meeting as well. So, before we move on to the next section here, to our appointments, I just want to recognize two individuals that are here today from our Youth Commission, my commissioner, Erica Shiitake, and also Mayor Pro Tem's Commissioner, Stephanie Talon. Where are you guys at? I know you're in the audience still somewhere. Stand up real quick. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. They were just recently appointed a couple of months ago, and because they wanted to be more involved in government here from a youth perspective. So we appreciate you guys coming out to tonight's council meeting and learning a little bit more about what we do. And, you know, we're eager to hear some of the ways from your perspective how we can enhance our meetings for the youth as well. So thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next portion here, appointments. Does any member of the council have any appointments to be made to any commissions, committees, boards, or council at this time? If not, we're going to move on to our consent calendar. Does any member of the council wish to discuss any items separately? If not, can I get a motion to approve the consent calendar as is?
So moved.
Is there a second? Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka and a second by Councilmember Kaskanian. Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Yes.
Councilmember Kaskanian.
Yes.
Councilmember Medina.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
And Mayor Serta.
Yes. Okay, next is item number 7, Planning and Environmental Quality Commission Action Sheet. Item number 7A1, Conditional Use Permit 917. Does any member of the council wish to call for a review or appeal the decision? If
Mayor,
not,
there was no action required, just receive and
just
file.
receive and file. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and receive and file on that item there. Item number 7A2. There again, I know we can just receive and file, but I didn't know if there was any councilman who wanted to appeal or review. Okay, if not, we're going to move on. Next is oral communication. We have one speaker here, Ms. Kimberly Haddon. Just want to remind everyone that we do have 3 minutes to speak. When the yellow light comes on, that lets you know that your 2 minutes are up. When the red light comes on, that means your 3 minutes are up, and if you could just kind of wrap it up at that point.
Yes, ma'am. Well, good evening, Council, Mayor Tasha, and residents of Gardena. My name is Kimberly Haddon. I am a board member at Sarah High School, and I am proud to present you with our news and updates. Make sure, if you are currently in the eighth grade, to sign up and take the HSPT at Sarah High School on July 14th at 9 a.m. Any 8th grader who is applying to a Catholic high school must take the high school placement test. Hurry up and sign up now on our admissions page, as spaces will become scarce. Sarah Cavalier softball team wins CIF Southern Section. On Saturday, June 3rd, the Sarah Lady Cavalier softball squad completed an amazing season, winning the school's first CIF Southern Section championship for softball, defeating Archer School for girls. The victory accumulated an unprecedented level of success that realized the potential of our program on the rise for the past couple of seasons. Congratulations, our softball team. Sarah Girls Track and Field. Well, Sarah Girls Track and Field won CIF Southern Section Division 4 State Championship. Yay! Lady Cavalier Track and Field team captured the 2018 CIF State Championship, and 4x100 relay team captures its second consecutive state win in Fresno on Saturday, June 3rd. Coach Chris Calvin was also named Coach of the Year for Track and Field, so congratulations to Coach Chris Calvin. CIF champions in girls softball and girls track and field. CIF state champions in girls basketball and girls track and field. An unbelievable year for Sarah Lady Cavalier athletes. We are Cavaliers, so congratulations to our athletic program at Sarah High School for our girls team. An amazing year. Thank you so much. And on behalf of our principal, Mr. Guzman, thank you, peace and blessings to you all.
Thank you. Next, we're going to move on to our departmental items. Next up is item number 8A1. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor, certain members of the City Council, agenda number 8A1 is resolution number 6336, amending the list of authorized games and authorizing the play of certain games in licensed card clubs. On June 12, 2018, the Hustler received written approval from the State of California Department of Justice Bureau of Gaming Control to begin offering double board Omaha at their club. The approval of the State of California is subject to the adoption of a formal resolution by the City Council. What is required is for the City Council to approve resolution number 6336. I will let you know that there will be several of these items coming forward over the next several months as they are adding additional games to their casinos.
Okay, thank you. Okay, does any member of the council have any questions or comments on this item? If not, can I get a motion to adopt resolution number 6336?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Councilmember Medina and a second by Councilmember Cascanian. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Medina.
Yes.
Councilmember Cascanian.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Next up is item number 8A2. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor, certain members of the City Council, agenda number 8A2 is resolution number 6334, is approving the unrepresented Gardena police managers to share the cost of employer contributions pursuant to Government Code Section 20516. The unrepresented Gardena police managers consist of the police lieutenants, police captains, deputy chief, and Chief of Police. Effective July 1st, 2018, police managers agreed to pay an additional 3% of their compensation towards the city's employer contribution rate pursuant to Section 20516 of the Government Code. Currently, Classic Safety employees pay 9% member contribution and Pepper Safety employees pay 12.25%. The foregoing is above the current contribution rate. As the city remembers, the same agreement was made with the GPOA, but because these police managers are unrepresented, a council is required to pass a separate resolution. CalPERS requires this on behalf of the unrepresented members. Upon adoption of resolution number 6334, CalPERS will then require an employee election ballot in which the results will cause a final ordinance to be brought forth to the City Council. This process may take up to 4 months. That also includes the same process for GPOA. The fiscal year 18-19, the PD managers will pay a total of $40,162 towards the employee contribution rate pursuant to this section. The GPOA will pay $269,000 towards cost sharing of the employee contribution. What is required is for the City Council to adopt resolution number 6334.
Okay, thank you. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments on this item here?
A quick comment.
Okay, go ahead, Councilman
Thank
Mayor
you.
Pro Tem.
Just on behalf of the non-representative, thank you for doing this because it does make a difference in our budget and the way that our finances are handled. But we really appreciate the fact that you guys have stepped up and are willing to do this. The negotiations seem to just be going well above what I've ever expected because I've been there and I've seen it. But this is just a thank you very much for doing that.
Okay. Can I get a motion to adopt resolution number 6334?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka and a second by Councilmember Medina. Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Yes.
Councilmember Medina.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Cascanian.
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Next up is item number 8B1. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor Serta, members of the City Council, agenda number 8B1 is approval of submittal for the 2017 Clean Transportation Funding in the amount of $78,770 for the Mobile Source Air Pollution Reduction Review Committee, or MSRC, which will also include a presentation. This presentation is going to be conducted by General Services Director Joseph Cruz.
Good evening, Mayor Serta and council members. As part of the funding application to the MSRC, a brief presentation is required. I have 5 or 6 slides that I'd like to share with you, and I'll be as brief as possible. So just a little background on the MSRC. It was created in 1990 by the California legislature with a mission to reduce air pollution from cars, trucks, basically all vehicles with combustion engines. While the MSRC works very closely with the AQMD, they are not a regulatory agency. This particular chart shows how various standards since 1979 have been established and the various tolerable concentrations have been established. The various classifications that you see identified in this chart range from moderate to extreme. With the more extreme classification, there has been an extended period of time to attain that particular goal. I'll note that for the second item, you'll see that there are actually two classifications there. It's classified as both moderate and serious. That was done because it was believed that the 2021 goal established by the moderate classification could not be achieved. And the AQMD actually requested that the category be reclassified to serious, so that would allow more time to meet that particular goal. So this chart represents that although there's been a reduction in emissions over a period of time and projected to continue through 2031, much more has to be done. You will see that in 2023, a 45% reduction is necessary in order to achieve the goals as established per the previous chart. So how do we get there? And as with all long-term goals, a strategic plan helps to provide the guidance to progress towards achieving the desired outcomes. So the AQMD established in 2016 an air quality management plan. The air quality management plan focused on two significant items. One, the regulatory measures as identified by the charts that I previously showed to you. And then incentive-based strategies, basically funding opportunities for zero and near zero emission vehicles. And that's what we have requested from you tonight in the, as presented by the city manager. Participation in this program is 100% voluntary. Each jurisdiction receives a set amount. The $78,770 identified in our report is the allocation provided to the city of Gardena. In March of 2018, you authorized the purchase of a sweeper funded from, I believe it was either gas tax or sewer maintenance funds, and that will serve as the match for this particular program. We ask that you authorize us to submit the application to the MSRC.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, I know that this topic was brought up by Councilman Medina, I think at attending of a SCAG meeting or COG meeting. We took advantage and applied for this grant. The funding will purchase a near zero emission street sweeper, of which MSRC funding will provide $78,700. This would be, I think, the second sweeper that we have purchased using MSRC funds. Approval of the purchase was previously approved on 2018. The sweeper will replace a 2001 sweeper, which has reached the end of its useful 10-year life expectancy and falls far below the current air quality standards as required by the EPA and the California Air Resources Board. Funding in the amount of $78,700 from SMRC would reduce the cost of the city for the purchase of a street sweeper from $350,370 $5,000 to $271,605. What's required is from the council is to approve submittal for the funding.
Okay, thank you. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments at this time? No? Okay, if not, can I get a motion to approve the submittal for funding?
So moved.
Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Councilmember Medina and a second by Councilmember Henderson. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Medina,
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka,
Yes.
Councilmember Cascanian,
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Okay, next up is item number 8D1. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor, Sir, members of the City Council, agenda number 8D1 is approval of entertainment contract for Maze featuring an artist for the 2018 Jazz Festival. The City of Gardena will host the 16th Annual Jazz Festival on Sunday, August 26, 2018 at Raleigh Park. The festival will include a full day of entertainment as well as food, craft, and information booths. The festival is made possible through donations from sponsors and ticket sales, which cover all hard costs associated with the festival, including entertainment, fencing, rental, security stage, printing, and ticket takers. The contract requires that there is no advertisement of the performance until July 28th, 2018. The budget is $80,000. The funding source is the Jazz Festival Trust. There is no impact to the general fund for this portion of the Jazz Festival. The council action that's required is to approve the contract.
Okay, thank you. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments at this time? I have one question. I noticed you mentioned this will have no impact on the general fund. What portions does have an impact on the general fund?
There are some costs of the event that are not covered by the ticket sales, and I could provide the council a full report. I think one was
just a rough estimate. Just a couple of things off the top of your head. I'm just kind of curious.
I don't have the number off the top of my head, but I could provide it to you in a report. It's mainly costs that are unrelated to the tickets and hard costs. It's mainly staff time that is not
things
covered.
like that. Okay, got it. Okay, so at this time, asking for a motion. I'm sorry, I lost my spot here. Asking for a motion to approve the entertainment contract.
So moved. Second.
Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Councilmember Cascanian and a second by Councilmember Medina. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Cascanian.
Yes.
Councilmember Medina.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Next up is item number 8E1. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor, Sir, members of the City Council, agenda number 81 is a memorandum of understanding by and between the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority and the City of Gardena for Prop C 40% discretionary for the Municipal Operator Service Improvement Program, which is called MOSIP, for a 10-year term starting July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2028. Voters of Los Angeles County passed Proposition C in November 1990, establishing a 0.5% sales tax for public transit purposes allocated by the LA Metropolitan Transit Authority, or Metro. The Metro Board established an ongoing Municipal Operator Service Improvement Program, MOSIP, I hope I'm saying that right, intended to improve countywide transit services. Funds are allocated to include all eligible LA County municipal bus operators, including G-Trans, through the annual established funding mark. Funding agreement provides for an annual disbursement of funds to G-Trans over a 10-year period from July 1st, 2018 to July 30th, 2028. The funding is eligible for operating and capital costs. G-Trans uses these funds as local match for capital-funded federal projects as well as to support its operations. Each year, G-Trans is required to submit to Metro an invoice along with a required service improvement plan showing the assignment of funds between operating and capital purposes in order to achieve the fund allocation. For fiscal year 19, G-Trans is eligible to receive $1,071,923 in MOSIP funds to be used to support and enhance its transit service. There is no impact to the general fund. What is required is to approve the MOU.
Okay, thank you. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments? If not, can I get a motion to approve the Memorandum of Understanding?
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka and a second by Councilmember Medina. Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Yes.
Councilmember Medina.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Cascanian.
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Next up is item number 8E2. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor Serta, members of the City Council, agenda number 8E2 is approved resolution number 6335, authorizing the filing of grant applications for federal transportation assistance. It's pretty important. G-Trans is eligible to receive a formula allocation of federal capital funding through the Federal Transportation Administration. In order to access these funds, G-Trans is required to file an electronic grant application through the FTA's Transit Award Management System. G-Trans has 2 grants for submittal to the FTA, requesting a total of $17,318,282. That includes a variety of capital projects, bus procurements, and preventative maintenance activities. 1 grant is dedicated to funding preventative maintenance activities that include maintenance of G-Trans bus equipment and facility maintenance programs for the duration of the 2 fiscal years. The 2nd grant is used to fund G-Trans capital programs, which includes the purchase of replacement buses, ongoing bus service equipment, and CNG fueling infrastructure. Recommended that the Council approve the 2 FTA grant applications and authorize the Transportation Director to execute the grants. Once again, we're applying for $17,318,282 with a local match of $4,369,738 provided by a combination of state and local funds available to G-Trans and to transportation development credits available through Metro's toll credit program. There is no impact to the general fund. What is required is for the Council to adopt Resolution number 6335.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments at this time? If not, can I get a motion to adopt Resolution number 6335?
So move.
Second.
Madam City Clerk, there was a motion made by Councilmember Henderson and a second by Councilmember Medina. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Medina.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Yes.
Councilmember Cascanian.
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Next, we're moving on to council items, directives, and remarks. We're going to begin tonight with council directives. Does any member of the council have any directives at this time? No? Okay. And Mr. City Manager, I have one. You may already have this in your remarks. There was a question that came up at the last council meeting in regards to the pictures that are on the wall. You have something? Because I'd like to just have a follow-up on that. Okay, I'll wait till your report. So if there are no directives at this time, we're going to move on to the city manager's remarks regarding directives.
So there's a number of items that were brought up at oral communications that we'll address. One of them is the pictures. So if you look in the back of the wall, there are the pictures that were outstanding, starting with, I think, I can't see that far, but it looks like Councilman Ikejiri, Councilman Rachel Johnson, and then Mayor Tanaka. So all of the missing photos are there. That is not the long-term solution. We do want to rearrange these photos so we don't have anything on the back wall, but all of them are present.
Mr. City Manager, if you don't mind me asking, can you explain to the council why there weren't pictures up there prior to that? Because I think that's a part of it, too. That was part of a question that came up.
Sure. So as you look at the wall, first of all, there's an issue of space, and trying to avoid the back wall is one of them. But the other part too is if you notice that some of the matting on the frames do not match. The matting that we use in all those frames is very particular. It was hard. We don't have any extra of it. So as a result, we were trying to acquire to have them all match, not redone. This is museum type glass on there. It's an expensive matting. There's also a name label with the years on there, so it's not an easy process. We still have not come to a resolution on the mats, and we're hoping not to have to remat all of them. Okay. But as a result, it's just a work in progress. But they're all up there now. Unfortunately, at least 2 of them don't match at this point.
Okay, thank you. You had more? I mean, other directives. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Thank you though for that report.
Yes. This week, I sent a letter to WRG in regards to some complaints we received from community members of late trash pickup and trash cans being left on the side. It was a result of some equipment that we're using in the city of Gardena that was not traditionally used in the city of Gardena. It was older equipment. WRG is also taking on Carson, so there's been some challenges with them, getting that all together. But I sent the letter. I'm happy to report at least 2 of the people that have complained said the service has improved and the original trucks are back, so that's a good sign. There was a number of complaints about the fireworks show being shorter than expected. Kelly Fugio, our director, is well aware of that and is working with the vendor. There's a number of factors that has led to that, but I will have a full report by the next council meeting for council to have. The fireworks report from the police department will take another couple weeks, so that will not be available until the July 24th meeting, in which will provide at least some type of assessment of how things compared to the previous years. There has been an increased level of complaints and condition deteriorating around our transfer station at Rosecrans and Halldale, and the city has been fully engaged in trying to clean up the conditions there. A significant amount of runoff has or tracking has been on Halldale and Brighton. This past Sunday, they did clean the street. It improved it somewhat, but I went out there again this morning, and it still continues to be a problem. It's very difficult for them to contain the tracking that comes out of that facility. So it's going to be an ongoing issue that where the city is going to work to try to resolve. There was a complaint about a motorhome and people living in a motorhome at the car wash on Crenshaw near 135th. I'm proud to report that is gone. So that issue has been resolved. The code enforcement action in terms of the corner of Rosecrans and Van Ness property, we've been on top of that, and hopefully some of the conditions are improving there. Also, there was a complaint about the U-Haul. Speaker talked about the present, the U-Haul conditions, what we're doing tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I have a meeting with one of the vice presidents from U-Haul to see if there's anything we can accomplish moving forward, not only with the corner property, but the old Latoteca property, and I will have a report from the city council of that meeting. Today we held 2 all-hands meetings. I believe between 140 and 150 employees were present. First one was at G-Trans, which was the most well-attended. Of course, there was food available, so that always makes it better. It was a great opportunity to share what direction the city is going and in all of the positive things that we're doing in this community. And the second one was held here at 3 o'clock, and I think there are about 40 people here today. And then lastly, we're still working on scheduling an MS4 study session, and we'll hope to do that in the August meeting. That is all I have, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, I'm sorry, I forgot one.
Okay, go ahead.
So for the, excuse me, the July 24th meeting, I will be requesting a study session just prior to the meeting at 6:30. There's a major development that the developer would, that I'd like to present to the council. I've asked the developer to be present to answer any questions and to provide some, information about his project. It is a pretty substantial development, and it's on Rosecrans Avenue, and I believe the council will be best served by having, a first look at that and to ask questions about that project. So it would be my request that as we close today's meeting, that we adjourn to closed session at 6:30 on July 24th.
A 6:30 closed session? I'm
No,
sorry.
study session.
A study session. Thank you.
Sorry, not closed session. I apologize. Study session. The city attorney is looking at me like, what? Yeah, it would be a study session. We would do it for half an hour to 45 minutes. We only anticipate one small, very short closed session item regarding the litigation, and then we go into our regular scheduled meeting.
Okay. Okay, that's everything? Okay, we're going to move on to our council remarks. And Mayor Pro Tem, if you can bring that up during your remark with the question you had. Please bring it up during your council remarks. We're going to begin tonight with Councilmember Kaskanian.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Since our last meeting, I attended a few ceremonies and grand openings. First, I would like to start with the pinning ceremony of Chris Cuff to Lieutenant and Mike Robbins to Sergeant. Congratulations both, and Chief, well picked. Great job, thank you very much. I attended the grand opening of Grand Tacos restaurant on 154th and Western. I will urge citizens of Gardena and neighbors to visit them. It's a great place to be, great food, it's delicious. And I did attend GJAP drug abuse program here at Nautoka Center. It was a great program, and I would like to talk to Jorge, his name was, and I would like to get some more information. Maybe we can spread out to the community, because to be honest, I don't want the program to end. It was so much information that I was sitting there for almost hour and a half, and listening to them. It was so much information that I will encourage everybody to attend the tour for next, I think they have a couple other dates available. And 4th of July, Raleigh Park, I attended the 4th of July fireworks. And Mr. City Manager, probably the complaint was because the fireworks was so great, spectacular, you know, people they don't want it to end the show because it was great. Thank you, Kelly and the staff, for a great job. And Mr. City Manager, I have a concern. I received a phone call and 2 text messages from residents in Gardena. Maybe this one, the chief will follow up on this one too. I do visit San Antonio Padua Church twice a week, sometimes more if possible, if the time permits. But usually in the mornings I go to the church. And Thursday morning, last Thursday, I was driving by, and it was so much debris on the street right on the intersection by the stop sign. I thought the trash truck came in and he was dumping the truck, and they spilled the truck out on the street. So I drove by, I was going to take a picture of it, and I've seen that it was fireworks, you know, like whatever left over from the fireworks, the papers, the plastics, and everything. I mean, I was surprised that the amount of the fireworks was, you know, popped over there or whatever they've done. It was a lot. You know, I don't know if the police department received any complaint regarding this or not, or I would like to get, you know, some information, follow up on it, because I'm pretty sure they were popping that fireworks for at least half hour, 45 minutes. And I drove by today, and the street sweeper, he comes in on Tuesdays, and he went by, and there was some more debris. So imagine how much of, you know, fireworks they popped over there, right at the, you know, intersection at the San Antonio Padua.
Council members, is the debris still there? Do we need somebody out?
Well, there was on the grounds. Yes, there is. I mean, if we can send a street sweeper, that would be great, because you can still see, you know, the debris. So. And I was just concerned, and I don't know if we received any phone calls or any complaints from the residents, so I just want to get some report, if it's possible, regarding this. And that ends my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mine's real quick. Let's see. So as Mayor Pro Tem, the mayor was tied up, so I was lucky enough to attend the Mayor Garcetti lunch, which was at the Annenberg Community Beach House. It was quite an event. Wow. Met a lot of people. That was pretty good. Met the new chief from Torrance, the new chief from LAPD, and the new chief from Santa Monica. So it was a great event. Made some good contacts. I did attend the grand opening of Grand Fish Taco and Ceviche. If you love that kind of stuff, that's the place to go. Sadly, I attended Andrea Rivas's funeral. She was a member, and her family is a member of Sister City, so it was a wonderful celebration of life. Greeted the Watabampo contingency that came for their official city visit of the city facilities. That was great. And then I just had a question when you were talking about the things that were brought up last meeting, and just so it doesn't come back that we didn't do anything, were the center medians on Rosecrans cleaned up? I think that was an issue.
Yeah, we have begun improving the maintenance on the center medians. There were some issues there, not necessarily related to the trash, but there was also some irrigation issues there, so we're on top of it.
All right. Well, I thought that was brought up, so. But thank you very much for doing that. And that ends my report.
Okay, next up is Councilmember Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My report will be brief. Since our last meeting, I participated in the League of California Cities Helen Putnam award, or not award ceremony, but a judge for some of the different cities in California that submit real unique programs and innovative programs. So that was actually pretty enlightening to see what other cities are doing. So we got some stuff that we need to start submitting and everything, because we're pretty innovative and as well. So we got to start competing with some of these other cities. But it was great to see what a lot of cities are doing around the state. Did some community visits and different things like that. Also, with Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka, we greeted the Watabampo Sister City delegation. Was that yesterday morning? So that was exciting as well. It was a good time. Also, would like, Madam Mayor, if you could, adjourn in the memory of John Mack, who was the president of National Urban League here at LA chapter. So he was laid to rest today. He was also on the LA PD Police Commission as well and everything. So he was a great stalwart in civil rights, a community activist, and was a champion for all men and women. So we just want to adjourn in his memory. So ends my report.
Okay, I'm sorry, that was the National Urban League?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and from myself, since the last council meeting, I only attended a couple of events. I'm glad everybody's keeping it short. So we're going to get out of here probably before 9 o'clock. So just a couple of events for myself. Hopefully this year's fireworks was a lot better this year, their 4th of July, that we weren't, people felt that it was a little bit easier since we had the moratorium. I thought I noticed a considerable difference. There were still some fireworks going off on the 4th of July, but it was in no comparison to the previous years. So we have, or I have received a couple of comments from people saying that it was way more bearable than previous years. And I'm curious, Mr. City Manager, will we have, I know before we used to have meetings prior to the 4th of July, community meetings where people could share some of their concerns. I think before we had some follow-up meetings afterwards. Are we going to do that again this year? Or can you maybe include that in a directive?
So if the council wants to direct me to have the police chief do that, I'd be more happy to do that.
Okay. Can I get a second on that? Okay, thank you.
Consider it done.
Okay, thank you. So since the last council meeting, I too attended the pinning ceremony of Lieutenant Chris Cuff and Sergeant Mike Robbins. So that was great to attend that. It's always great to see our employees promote up. And then on a sad note, I attended the funeral services of Miss S.C. Virginia Kelly Dillon, who was a longtime resident in Gardena. She was a veteran, and she was very active in the community. Also, later on that day, I attended the grand opening of Grand Fish Tacos with my colleagues, and we had a great time there. And again, another great restaurant we have. We would definitely want to encourage everybody, please go and support them. They've been, every time I pass by, in fact, they're packed all the time, so just keep supporting them. I also attended the 4th of July ceremony, the 4th of July fireworks show at Raleigh Park, and I want to thank our Parks and Rec staff for doing a great job there, as always. And then I also attended the courtesy call yesterday with the delegates from our sister city, Watabampo. And then earlier today, I attended one of the all-hands-on meeting. And I'd just like to thank our city manager for doing a great job in presenting. A lot of the information I already knew, but there were some other great little tidbits you added at the very end as far as departments working together and just some great leadership concepts. So thank you for that. And I hope to see more meetings like that in the coming years, just to kind of boost the morale of our employees. Not that they really need it, but just, you know, it was great, just a little extra. And at the same time, making sure all of our employees are informed as far as what's coming forward in Gardena, maybe some things are going to be put on hold and so on. But it's great when our entire city council, our employees in the community are informed as far as what direction our city is going in. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And then lastly, I attended, that was it, actually. So next, we're going to move on to Councilmember Medina.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Since our last meeting, I also attended the grand ribbon cutting. For those of you who haven't had a chance, I've tried just about every taco they have, and the salmon tacos are the best. So get a chance, try some of the salmon tacos. I also attended the South Bay City's Council of Governments, where we're we're looking at some deadlines with regards to the AQMD, which we'll follow up with our city manager, and we'll take care of that as well. I also delivered seven half-sheet cakes to convalescent homes in the city of Gardena, and everybody was happy to receive them, including the city of Gardena itself. The convalescent homes are starting to trend to have Alzheimer's diets and Alzheimer's therapy. So I didn't realize that there was Alzheimer's and dementia diets, but apparently a lot of the convalescent homes are getting onto that and saying that because the brain is a muscle and needs to be utilized, and it needs therapy and it needs the proper food as well. So who knows? They might be on to something on that. I also attended the funeral services for Andrea Rivas that I've known since she was born, actually. And she actually knew me when I had hair. And again, back to the 4th of July, I normally make sure I'm asleep before midnight, because usually I get woken up. But this year was different. I didn't get woken up. Usually, being a veteran, that far away sound is the one that gets me more than the close-up sounds. The close-up sounds are okay. We know it's fireworks, but the stuff from far, far away, if anybody out there is a veteran, you know that that far away sound is the one that gets you. And this year it wasn't as bad, because it was just one solid rumble. Just, there was no individual fireworks. There was a couple knuckleheads that at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning were still, but that's a given. And I was very happy with the fact that I didn't get woken up again. So we're obviously doing something right, because I got less phone calls than I did last year about the fireworks. So that's a good thing. And that ends my report. I'll be delivering. We're getting ready to do the vector control for those of you who are mosquito bound. Make sure you don't leave any standing water, especially right now with the weather the way it is. Don't leave any standing water around. It's a breeding ground for mosquitoes, and that is my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. A couple of announcements here. Some of these announcements I'm going to make are a little in the future, but just if you want to kind of put this on your calendar. On Saturday, July 14th, we have a free edible gardening class that will be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It will actually be in Torrance, but it's a great class for those of you guys who are into organic stuff. And it's going to be offered at the Madrona Marsh, which is in Torrance. And I believe we'll have flyers for this in the hallway area. But it's Saturday, July 14th from 9 to 12 p.m., again in Torrance at the Madrona Marsh. Also, we're going to have our next Coffee with a Cop, which will be on July 26th, and this one will be at Wendy's from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the evening. We'll also have another active shooter response seminar, which will be on August the 11th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and then also at 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. This is a great class to attend. I know it usually fills up pretty quickly, so for those of you who are interested, you definitely want to make it a point to get in contact with Lieutenant Osorio. And I believe we'll have information probably on our web or in the hallway as well. Also, Gardena Dodger Day will be coming up soon, Sunday, August 5th. And there will be tickets, I believe, that are being sold through the city for $20, $45, and $50. And you can see someone in our Parks and Rec staff if you're interested in going to the Gardena Dodger Day. And it'll be the Dodgers versus, what team is that with the H? Houston? Houston. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not a sports person. But those are the announcements that we have. And we're going to move on to our remembrances. So we're going to adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of Mrs. Sumi Kobata. She was 98 years old and a longtime resident of Gardena and a member of the Kobata family who established the Kobata Nursery in Gardena years ago. She is survived by her son Gerald and daughter Barbara, sister Alice Kugaya, brother Brian Hagawara, and a host of nieces, nephews, and in-laws from the Kagawa and Iwata and Kobata families. She will be sadly missed by her family and friends. We're also going to be adjourning in memory of Mr. John Mack, who was the president of the National Urban League and also an activist. So at this time, the Gardena City Council meeting will adjourn to our next study session that will begin at 6:30 on Tuesday, July 24, 2018, and will be later followed by a regular city council meeting that same night at 7:30 p.m. So we stand adjourned.